Warning: this video content is intended for educational and informational purposes only.
He picked me up.
Suffocating?
He got my head against the cabinet, and then he slept on top of here. And then my kids were screaming and crying, and he said that he was either I die or he's gonna have a shot with you guys.
You were there do nothing. I didn't do nothing, bro. Okay. I did nothing for her.
Stay with that.
He choked her, threw her around, and grabbed hold of her so hard that she couldn't force his hand away to save herself.
Yeah, I was holding onto his arm, but he lifted me up because he's so strong. He lifted me up and he's standing on the counter.
Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?
And one of my students just passed me a note that says his mother needs help and that his dad is hurting her.
Okay, do you have an address?
Yeah, they live on, it's the first house when you turn into the neighborhood.
Okay, officers are being dispatched now. Can you stay with the child until law enforcement arrives?
Yeah, so I'm just parked outside the neighborhood. I'll stay here.
This is what the Las Cruces Police Department were informed of on April 23rd, 2021. Just the night before, Veronica had endured 12 hours of what could only be described as a living hell, all because of her abusive boyfriend, Eric Alvarado. At this point, fearing for her and her children's life, the main thing on her mind was to call the police. But Eric had confiscated her phone and refused to let her leave his sight. However, Eric and Veronica's son still had to go to school. This gave Veronica an idea that would save her and her family's life.
Yeah, he was taking me a lot and suffocating with the pillows.
Okay.
He picked me up.
Suffocating?
He got my head against the cabinet, and then he slept on top of here. And then my kids were screaming and crying, and he said that he was either I die or he's gonna have a shot with you guys.
Veronica is clearly distressed and just thankful that the cops are here to save her. In fear of her life, she wrote a note behind Eric's back saying that she was in danger and to call 911. She passed this note to her kids in hopes someone from their school would call the police. The note was given to a bus driver who immediately called the Las Cruces Police Department.
I got a question though, like in situations like this, I don't fucking understand it. So, I mean, you sent a note to the school and that's cool, but is he has to just be like, he has to be a bum. Is he sitting at the house all day with you to the point to where you can't leave, can't go to the police station? You know what I'm saying? They did say that he took her phone, so he's just some bum ass nigga sitting around the crib all day while the kids is at school and he abusing the shit out of you so you can't leave? Or does she have opportunity to leave and she's not taking the opportunity to leave? That's what I'm going to assume, bro. Because this doesn't just happen. It's been happening for a minute. So she has to have, at some point, some way to get out of that house, go to a neighbor, something, bro.
The cops need to know exactly what happened. Veronica just told them that Eric would have a shootout with the cops if they came, so they know they're dealing with someone either dangerous or delusional, something they would quickly find out.
Were you trying to get away from him, or what happened?
I just started doing whatever he asked me. He would even tell me to follow him to the bathroom when he needed the bathroom. He would make me pick up the seat for him.
Okay.
He said,
hell
let
no.
me. And then I was just like, well, neither. And then, but I was crying for my.
He said what?
Him.
Okay.
He said, "Are you gonna let me?"
He said, "Are you gonna?" I'm assuming that this is the F word. Are you gonna let me? Are you gonna let me F you?
And then I was just like, well, neither. And then, but I was crying for my mom. He said, "You really think I would do that?"
He didn't try to get out, and he didn't forcefully try to keep you
I was
leaving
like,
or anything like that?
I've tried before, and it never works.
Oh,
so
okay,
I just.
so she's tried.
Baby, it's a food delivery service in your game. It's so sick. You could set it so you click a million buttons. You can make keep on.
Stayed quietly and I stayed
But what
up
did you
on the
try,
bed.
though?
I rolled like to try to get away, and he would just pull me closer and hug me.
Okay.
But I didn't have a phone to call you guys, so I just
What happened to your phone?
He has it, but he always takes it because he knows that I'm gonna call the cops.
Okay, so the marks on your face, is that from him, or?
Mm-hmm.
Is that from him? Okay.
Damn, messed her lip up. And
Listen to
he
exactly
need
what
his ass
Veronica
beat.
is saying. It's obvious that this isn't just a one-time thing. She's using phrases
Facts.
like, I've tried before and it never works, implying that she'd almost given up trying to escape him.
Man, stab that nigga. Woman, fuck the bullshit. If somebody is holding you by your will, you and your kid, man, pick up a knife. Anything that you stab that nigga. Stab something, bro. It's a knife in there. You walking all through the kitchen and shit. While he's sitting there taking a shit, you better grab something and bash him over the head with something. While one of these kids is at, do something, bro. That's fucked up. I mean, I can sit here and say what I would have done and all of this, but at the end of the day, I'm a grown ass man. And this is a woman, and the dude that she's with, he looks significantly bigger than her. So, you know, scared. Then you got kids involved. So it's a wide variety of different factors that can come into play, or that can be a reason as to why, you know, a woman can be in this position. But this is fucked up, bro. I just don't understand how men can do this shit to a woman. This is your woman that you had babies with. You supposed to be taking care of her. You know what I'm saying? Not slamming her face into the cabinets and busting her lip up and shit. Like, other than pedos and really, that's like the worst of the worst. Like, other than pedos, men who put their hands on women, defenseless women who haven't done anything to harm, bro. I'm worst of the worst. I'm telling you.
This is known
Worst of
as
the worst.
learned helplessness, a condition where an abused person starts to believe that they're powerless to save themselves because of the repeated abuse and perceived lack of control. Unfortunately, it's more common than you might think. On average, it takes 7 tries for a victim to escape their abuser, and every single one of these failed attempts would start to make them feel more and more powerless, as though control of their life is slowly slipping away.
What Dory say, baby? Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep trying to stab that nigga. Keep trying to hit him over the head with a pot, pan, broom, something. But don't get like this, bro. Don't get to the point to where you done tried to leave him and then it might not have worked. Something's gonna work. You're gonna figure something out, but don't give up. Cause then once you give up, then what? You basically in hell. You gotta live with this nigga. What? So you just gonna let him abuse you for the rest of your life? Man, you better grab something. Smash his
Given
face
that
in.
Veronica has a 5-year-old son
Come on,
with
bro.
Eric, the abuse might have been going on for years, with her essentially resigning her fate to his violence and manipulation. If that's the case, then her son's actions should be even more celebrated, finally freeing his own mother from a relentless cycle of abuse.
Can you explain to me what happened first yesterday?
We were arguing. He was just more frustrated because he was yelling at the kids, and then he started to get upset with me. He got upset because I didn't cook, grabbed himself something to eat, and he told me to cook garbage and give it to him, but it's because I had the baby in the bed and I laid it down. She was getting upset every time I walked out.
Okay.
And then so I came in here all mad talking shit, and
Okay.
I was right there by the microwave, and I slammed it to close it because he had his food in there and I was going to heat it up. And he told me to shut up, and then he got up and pulled me from my hair and pushed my head toward the cabinet in my head, like went like that, and just like swole away right here, went like that, and my eyebrow hit right here.
Veronica continued to tell the officer about that night's abuse, how he choked her, threw her around, and grabbed hold of her so hard that she couldn't force his hand away to save herself.
Yeah, I was holding onto his arm, but he lifted me up because he's so strong. He lifted me up and he slammed me on the counter. My kids were crying at the same time as my oldest son came out.
What did you feel when he grabbed your neck?
I don't know, like I was like trying to fight to get it off, and then all of a sudden, like my body just started feeling weak.
Feeling weak?
Yeah, and I just I felt like I was underwater and I couldn't breathe. And I was just like trying to calm him down, like, oh baby, I love you, please stop, this and that. But I was just like, because I already know how he is.
Directly after being choked almost to death, she's still pleading with him and telling him that she loves him. Obviously, it can't be this.
But I don't get it though. Like, Veronica, you ain't got no brothers. And you're Hispanic. You come from a Hispanic family. Y'all families are white than a motherfucker. She got some brothers or some cousins, dad, uncle, something. You got somebody in your family that could pull up to the spot and come beat this nigga up. If anything, they need to just go ahead and off this nigga. Catch him outside somewhere, catch him slip. You know what I'm saying? I ain't promoting violence, but goddamn, bro, if you putting your hands, you taking it to the extent to where you choking your woman, you picking your woman up by your neck and choking her and doing all that extra shit, bro. You don't need to be walking around. That's just my opinion, bro. Somebody need to go ahead and put him in the ground. You willing to do that shit in front of your kids? In front of the babies that she had. She had your babies, and you're willing to do that. You're willing to treat her like that. In front of them babies, bro. In my mind, you'll do anything else. If you willing to take it to that extent, bro, if that little boy didn't go to school and hand him that dope, or hand whoever the bus driver that note, bro, it would have came a point in time where he probably would have took it too far, bro, and she probably would have ended up in the hospital or worse.
On reaction, Eric has likely used either love bombing or intermittent reinforcement to manipulate Veronica. Love bombing involves initially showering the victim with affection and attention, forming attachment quickly, and intermittent reinforcement involves quickly alternating between kindness and cruelty. Both of these create a powerful emotional bond and dependency on the abuser, making it much harder to leave, despite making her feel like this.
You're talking about, are you scared to die? And I'm like, yes.
And he threatening her, he do it too, bro.
Died, you know, it's just like,
Okay.
if it just hurts and painful, he's like, why are you scared to die? Like, and then I said, because my kids.
But the last little piece of information the cops get might just be the most important one, and unravel why tonight's abuse got so out of hand.
From PTSD,
Okay.
depression.
And he hasn't took his medication either.
Bipolar depression and
He has.
God damn, this nigga has bipolar, depression, and PTSD? Oh, this nigga is nuts. You didn't know he had all of this shit before you got with him and had babies with him? This is what I'm saying, bro. Woman, y'all cannot do that shit. She knew that this nigga, he on all types of medication that he not taking. You don't just randomly get PTSD. PTSD is something that you accumulate or that you have for years, and he look old as dirt. So he didn't have PTSD and depression and all of this shit for a good amount of time now. And she knew that. Women, stop ignoring the signs. Stop it, and you could have did so much better. That nigga not even handsome. He looked like something on the bottom of my shoe. So not only could you have done extremely better, you ignored the signs, baby. So it ain't her fault, but at the same time, it's not her fault. It's definitely not her fault. I'm not even gonna take it to that extent and say that it's not her fault. But women, even men too, because y'all be picking out bullshit sometimes too. We have to do better at not ignoring the signs. And in those early stages, when we see that little spark or speck of crazy, get the fuck out of there, man. It's a snowball effect. It's only going to get worse over time, bro. But there are definitely signs that she's seen before that she passed. You know what I'm saying? Trying to give him the benefit of the doubt and trying to be cool. And now look at the position that she's in. It sucks, bro.
It takes so much help. He has anxiety, bipolar.
yeah. So the only thing
Bipolar,
that set him off
PTSD,
was
depression.
the whole him not having food ready and all that.
No, it was the kids who was yelling at my son.
Okay.
And that if anything gets him upset, he gets really, really upset.
Apparently, Eric suffers from PTSD, depression, anxiety, and bipolar. He's supposed to take a litany of meds to keep him stable, but that night, he hadn't taken any of them. Of course, this isn't an excuse for his behavior, nor is it to be assumed that many bipolar people would ever act in this manner, but it could be a possible explanation for the severe and continued abuse.
How long have you been with him?
On and off for 7 years. There's a time when he sent me to the hospital.
That's what I'm talking about. On and off 7 years, which means that you had opportunities to leave him and then you went back. Like, I don't give a fuck about the kids, not like that, not in that aspect, but I don't give a fuck about the kids in the sense to where I'm going to sacrifice my morals and my mental stability in order to be with you for children. No, we can co-parent. If anything, bro, he's a piece of shit, and I go ahead and I take the kids, and whenever he get whatever situated that he needs to get situated, he back on his meds and he's ready to be a father, then we can try that. But as far as a relationship, there are just certain things that you do that you can't come back from. This is where women fuck up. Y'all leave, y'all come back. Y'all leave and y'all come back. And y'all don't even know what y'all are subconsciously doing. You're subconsciously fucking your own mind up. That's why she's gotten to a point. What's the term that they use? Love something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but you get yourself to a point to where you become so used to a person's behavior. It's to the point to where you get comfortable with it. You may not like it, you may not agree with it, but you've been back and forth with this person for X amount of time and X amount of years. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get to a point to where all of that shit that you should be paying attention to, that should have made you leave the first time, it doesn't matter because you came back. So y'all gotta stop doing that, bro. Stop leaving and going on and off. When you leave a nigga after you do something stupid, leave him and don't go back.
So you never...
I felt bad because he always calls me just like, I'm sorry, this is that. I'm a sick man.
Has he ever been charged with domestic or anything like that?
No, we get you.
He has?
Manipulation at its
Las
finest.
Cruces or New Mexico?
With his ex-girlfriend.
Okay, but not with you.
Yeah. And a lot of times I drop the charges because I feel bad.
Eric is clearly dangerous.
That's what
and
I'm
needs
saying.
to be locked up, but that all depends on if Veronica is going to press charges this time or let herself be manipulated out of it again. But before she can even make that decision, the other cop comes into the room and lets them know that they need EMTs on the scene immediately.
When you were standing up and you started. I don't know if he was making her do himself. Is that normal for him?
He gets like that when he's really upset.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not acting in an angry way. He does that, and sometimes like he'll fall on me and like.
Yeah, he's unpredictable.
Oh, okay.
So panic attacks are normal for him?
It's been happening all week.
She says he has knives in the drawer, so...
It seems as though Eric has had a panic attack and needs help from a medic. The thing is, the cops can't be sure if this is a genuine reaction or another way to try and guilt and manipulate Veronica, but either way, they get the fire department on the scene to check him out.
Does he need to go to the hospital, boys? He's wanting to go. Oh, he's wanting to go? What are you?
He's wanting to go. That's some
trying to
bullshit.
just take the blood pressure, that's about it. His oxygen's good right now, it's at 98%. Heart rate's fine, a little elevated at 98, but nothing crazy.
Do you take your medications for PTSD and the depression?
No, what?
Do you take medications for it?
Yeah.
Are you current on your medications? So we always recommend heading up to the hospital, especially because he has like PTSD, bipolar depression.
Medically, everything seems fine with Eric, but they still decide to take him to the hospital temporarily
Nothing's
at
fine.
his request. In the
He has a
meantime,
laundry
Veronica
list of
is now
shit wrong
curious
with
about the rest of the process and has made a decision on if she's going to press charges.
He always bonds himself out.
Okay.
I'm starting to remember a little bit. It's like, I didn't think I'm gonna be that long in fucking jail. I get bonded out real fucking quick.
So I know you said you want a restraining order, so we'll work on getting that. Usually it's going to be an emergency restraining order.
Would I be able to press charges on him?
So in situations like this, it's up to the state to pursue charges. So usually we go through with, no matter if we have charges, we're gonna go through with the charges whether you want to or not.
I should have pressed charges when I couldn't even open my eyes.
Emergency restraining orders are common in cases of domestic violence, especially where there's children involved. Courts are often available 24/7 for the filing of these, and in open and shut cases like these, they'll usually get approved on the same day. That means that Eric physically won't be allowed near Veronica, her kids, and likely their home unless he goes through a rigorous legal procedure. But it turns out that might not even matter, as it looks like he's heading straight to jail.
It is going to be a 48 for him. He's going to be cleared already.
As long as he's clear, he should be fine then. It's going to bring me the ERO.
So, hey, can I get a district court judge for the ERO?
Cool.
From this point, the officer fills out the restraining order and takes care of some other paperwork and investigation around the house. But the day isn't over for Eric yet. Far from it. He was taken to the hospital, but as the officer figured, he was discharged almost as soon as he got there. That meant that it was his turn in the spotlight, and he was handed over to the police, who were going to make sure that he got
He got discharged the moment he got to the hospital. That insinuates what? That he was bullshitting. That's why I don't care about him having no panic attack. He could have rolled over and he could have been done right there. DIE right there on the spot in the house. I promise you I wouldn't have cared. I have no sympathy for a man who is willing to put his hands on his woman. And you didn't black her eyes. She said, "Oh, I should have did it the last time. I couldn't open." That's what I'm saying. You doing too much, bro. You doing too much. I hope they poke him up in there. I really do.
exactly what he deserved.
Stand up, face me. Turn around for this officer.
Stand your goofy ass up.
Turn around. There you go. Oh, man, I got a piss, bro. Alright, but before we take you in, alright, you're gonna be placed under arrest, okay?
CID is the one that are gonna take you the charges. Unfortunately, I don't know them. So you are gonna be served a
Emergency restraining order.
I would suggest not contacting her, writing her, going to the house, none of that.
As the officer mentioned,
and she needs to get a gun. I'm gonna stop pausing. It ain't too much time left, but woman, get a pistol. I ain't telling you gotta walk around with the AR or the, you know what I'm saying? I ain't telling you to turn into Tony Montana, you know what I'm saying? But you need to carry around a little something that only you know about, especially if you got kids, just in case little buddy get to acting stupid, you know what I'm saying? You ain't even gotta call them boys. You know what I'm saying? Or at least after you put 2 in that nigga's chest and he's bleeding out on the ground for choking you and slamming your face into the counter. So get y'all one of them things, bro. Stop being scary. Go to the range. Be knowledgeable of gun safety. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you got kids around. Get you one of them things, bro. Y'all gonna need them in situations like this.
the case was handed over to CID, or the Criminal Investigation Division. In even simpler terms, the detectives. Usually a case is passed over the CID if the crimes were particularly severe, or if it requires the specific resources or skills the CID have. In this case, it's very likely the chronic abuse and psychological manipulation that warranted their intervention. As to truly unpack what happened here, it would require an expert to dig deep and use their skills to figure everything out. That's why less than an hour after he was released from the hospital, he was sat face to face with a detective that was about to grill him for his side of the story. Unfortunately, Eric didn't exactly make that easy, and it ended with him back in handcuffs and on his way to a cell.
Eric, I'm Detective Bardo with the Las Cruces Police Department. How you doing?
I'm not so bad.
What happened last night? You for a reason, and that's to get your side story. If you're gonna tell me nothing, I'm gonna go ahead and leave and proceed my investigation. So right now, this is your chance.
What am I being charged with?
I'm not there yet, but I'm in an investigation. I'm investigating you.
I don't feel good, man.
Okay.
I want to go.
All right.
No one gives a fuck about how you feel.
I'm gonna take you back to the holding cell, okay?
Yep.
So
thank you. Don't play no games with this nigga. Don't play no games. Don't let him bullshit. Don't let him get you to run around and none of that. You don't want to talk? Okay, bitch ass nigga. Take him to jail.
the last thing that
Cool.
I need to do was get your side of the story. Since you're not gonna give that to me, I'm gonna go ahead and charge you with 3 counts of aggravated battery on a household member. 2 of them are strangulation. The other one's gonna be suffocation. Or 2 of them be suffocation. One's gonna be strangulation. Battery on a household member, and also deprivation of property to a household member. 3 of the 5 are gonna be felonies. Okay?
What? Why are they felonies? What did I do that?
3 felonies.
Because you're a piece of shit.
But like, what did I do? What is this shit?
I don't know. You were there.
I didn't.
You were there.
I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing, bro.
Okay.
I didn't do nothing.
Then stay with that. Stay with that story.
I want to know what the
I'm not gonna tell you anything because you don't want to tell me anything.
Right.
As it turned out, Eric would only be charged with 2 counts of aggravated battery of a household member, 1 count of battery against a household member, and deprivation of property. And with Eric safely in cuffs and in a holding cell, the police had only one more job to do to put Veronica's mind at ease.
Hello?
May I speak to Veronica, please?
This is her. Yes?
Okay, just real quick, I wanted to let you know that I'm gonna go ahead and charge Eric. He's gonna have 3 felonies, which is gonna be aggravated battery on a household member. 2 of them are strangulation. One's gonna be strangulation. The other one's gonna be battery on a household member, and the other one's deprivation of property of a household member. So another thing, I'm asking the officer to call a Sky report to CYFD. Because of what he exposed the children to. They'll probably just reach out to you, ask to see the conditions of the house, make sure that they're suitable for the children.
I know because of what happened, but then at the same time, I don't know how to say this. I accept what you're doing, but there won't be any way he can see his kids.
There will be, but it's got.
This is the shit that I'm talking about. See, and you're still leaving Rome. This nigga just got charged with 3 felonies for almost putting you in the ground, and you're still trying to make a case to see whether or not if he can see his children. He doesn't need to see his children, and he has a little boy. He definitely don't need to see his kids. You want to know why? Because if you let that man around that little boy, he's going to grow up to be exactly like him. Don't do that. Don't do that.